Question is, how do you raise your children in this changing socio-economic racial world?
Okay, so I have a daughter.
Mhm.
She's 9.
Mhm.
She used to go to a Montessori school, and the Montessori school was a great school. We loved that school. She did very well there, but we found out she had dyslexia. And the Montessori school at that time didn't really have a program to help kids with dyslexia. And so, we're doing our research, and we found that, Sherman ISD actually has a really good dyslexia program. And so we decided to send her to public school. Parts of our neighborhood are poor. And so the school that she goes to is not predominantly a white school. But so I guess that's a long roundabout way of saying I initially wanted her to go to public school because of the dyslexia program. Mm-hmm. But a nice benefit of that, in my mind, was she was then getting exposed to different kids of different races, of different backgrounds, of varying socioeconomic statuses, and parents that came from very different backgrounds. And if I want her to go on in this world and do something bigger and better than what I've done, she has to be able to talk to deal with people of all different sorts of backgrounds and colors and sizes and shapes, right? And so I almost, to some extent, it was like a happy accident that sending her to that school that had a really good dyslexia program was also like an inoculation to, maybe not an inoculation, maybe a throw her in the pool kind of a thing, right? Like, boom, you're going in this pool. There's a lot of different kids from a lot of different backgrounds, and we're going to have conversations about how you deal with some of these kids, because some of these kids are coming from hard places, and some of them are going to be bullies because they have home lives that are full of anxiety and full of stress and full of poverty. And some of them are going to be really great kids, and they're going to be really nice, even though, and in spite of the fact that they come from homes that are not so stable, like what you were talking about earlier, right? And so I think that wasn't like a conscious choice that I made on the outset.
Yeah.
But it was like a happy accident that I then decided, okay, we're going to go with this, and we're going to keep her at this school because that's a good thing that she's getting
the exposure.
The exposure, which is something I did not have, right? Like I said, all white kids in Maine, pretty much. That's what I grew up in, and so, yeah. So I mean, that's one of the things I do as a father for her, is try and just get her exposed to different people, and I really try to impress upon her that, a person's, this is going to sound more like a religious show than anything at the end of this probably, but a person's relationship with God is going to have way more to do with how that person treats you than where they started out on this earth.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And so I try to just impress upon her that everybody gets a chance, and that doesn't mean that you let people run over you. It doesn't mean that you let people take advantage of you, but you do give people a chance, regardless.
Do you think that that's just our default when we deal with people that may not agree with us, or are difficult to agree with, that we just throw it on their race and say, oh, it's just because they're white or because they're black?
It's easy. Yeah,
instead of having to deal with the person individually.
As humans, we're always looking for the path of least resistance.
Yeah.
That's just a fact. That's a human trait.
Everybody has that.
Yeah. I mean, we're often looking for that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like another thing that me and my wife talk about a lot is that there's certain lessons that we all have to learn in life. Now, we can learn them when we're young, when we're middle-aged, or when we're older. Mm-hmm. But the older we get, the more expensive those lessons become.
Yes. The best lesson is a bought lesson.
Right. And so, to some extent, I'm trying to force those lessons now when they're inexpensive.
When they're resilient. They don't hurt as bad.
I mean, if she gets into a fight on the playground at 9, could she get a bloody nose? Yeah.
Possible.
She could get a bloody nose. but she's not going to get shot. You know what I mean?
You're absolutely right about that. You're absolutely right about that. Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know if that really answers your question, but
It does. It does. It does. I mean, from what I hear, you're trying to grow and mature a well-rounded person.
yeah.
That doesn't, put themselves in one corner and stay there. I couldn't imagine. Like, they have this joke on Facebook, and it's this little boy. He's little, and I have to preface this. It's a little white boy. He's on the beach, and there's these two, really good-looking black women, sunning themselves, right? And they're on their stomachs, and the lady has her phone, and she sees the little boy over her shoulder, and he's like mesmerized. And in the caption, she writes, here's another one that loves the chocolate. And I'm like, I couldn't imagine a life of being stuck in one little box, even though that's where I was very well suited in one little box. And then when I started to break out of it, I was like, man, I missed this my whole entire life.
Yeah.
I missed these great things because they wasn't part of my stereotype, or they weren't part of my.
That's a great point. Like you do miss out on certain things
Yeah.
by not having contact with other types of people in different cultures and stuff, right?
And you can respect other people and their cultures and not downplay theirs, and not downplay yours or belittle yours. There is, and I don't understand how that's not seen.
So another thing you were talking about earlier that resonates with me is coming at life from a perspective of playing defense, right? My mother was 16 when she had me, and like I said, she moved us to Maine. By the time I was 6 or 7, my parents were divorced. So, a girl that had a kid at 16, and then a second one, my sister, at 18. She's now a single mom. She it's tough, right? And so she played from an angle of defense. She was constantly working her ass off, trying to keep us fed, keep us clothed, keep the roof over our head, keep the lights on.
Yeah.
We've not had electricity at certain points, right? That's just what happened.
Have you ever eaten dinner by candlelight?
We have.
Have you ever stole electricity from a neighbor?
Like run the extension
Yes.
cord?
Come on.
Not that I know of.
How about water?
But I'm
Did
sure
you
that
ever
my
boil
mom
water
could've
to
done
take
that, yeah.
take a shower, take a bath?
We've gone to friends to take showers, yeah.
You were poor.
So anyway,
Jeez.
but my whole point with that though is back to the fatherhood thing, back to what am I teaching her about life and other people right now. I'm trying to do the same thing you're doing. I'm trying to set her up to take on things, right? To include people, to figure out that all these different people from different cultures have different things that you can not only learn from, but different things that you can, sounds bad, but that you can use.
Yes.
To everyone's benefit.
Yes.
Right? I mean, you just have certain people who have, whether
it's called gleaning.
Right. And from a place of offense, if you all band together and push this harder, you're going to get way farther than I could throw you.
Yes.
I'm Clay.
I'm Hal.
And we just had a nip of whiskey and a beer, and we had a good conversation. And we're going to have some more conversations.
Stay tuned.